Hello, this is Bridget Rau with Pleiadian Essentials. Okay guys, we are moving on with Alcyone Light Healing. I've wanted to get here for over a week now. I've been trying to get here. I also have an activation to do for my membership people, which I will be posting a preview here so people can click through to Vimeo, and it's not going to be expensive. It's just going to be the preview here and kind of like what we do with the activations for this. I also have private readings to do. I don't think anybody's is like late. I had one person for free that I needed to like put on hold while I was dealing with something, but I'm going to be doing that today after I get this done, and then get the activation done, and then hopefully get a couple of the private readings done, and then hopefully get a reading done for the Bridget Rau channel. I posted some new things on my Etsy store as well. I have a new moon and a full moon ritual thing where you choose your intention if you want new moon, full moon, or you want abundance or love, and depending on that you'll get like a journal prompt, you'll get an affirmation list, you'll get the directions on your spell candle, your sacred bath items, or an alternative method if you don't want to do a sacred bath, and all of that, like an activated crystal, a postcard full of notes. It's a lot of stuff, pendulum, all those things. So that is there. There's my Alien Princess spray, which is a limited time offer. As soon as like I'm out of the stuff for that, that's I can get it again. It just is probably not going to be like instant. And then the Empress Tarot spray is there as well. So what we're doing today is we're moving on with the next part of level 6, which we're going to talk about images, colors, numbers. What do they mean to you? Your first deck, animals, and symbols. Okay, so I did start making something for this, but then I was like, because I wasn't really liking the way it came out, and I was like, this is kind of like not needed or necessary, because you can literally in a notebook write down like a list of the colors, names, and then beside it leave a space for you to fill in with the meaning of what you're going to place on it. Because my big thing is, no matter what it is, whether it's a color or a number or an animal or a symbol or whatever, you probably have something inside of your brain that is like immediately like ding. Like when I see the color blue, I think this. I think boy. I think emotion. I think calm. I think whatever, peace. I think truth. Because the blue connects to our throat chakra. That was something, from the beginning I used to use like color in the way of, the meaning of the color rather than the meaning of the cards. Or I would incorporate that in, especially with the oracle cards, because oracle cards, they usually have like unconditional love or just one word on it. And that's usually not a lot to jump with like, hey, here we give you a whole message off of this one word. But sometimes it is. It depends on the word, it depends on the person, it depends on what's being conveyed and what needs to be conveyed. But like right here we have unconditional love, right? And blue, okay? Now she's there with her baby. We could look at this as like maybe you're a mother, and we could narrow that down. Like, is it a man or a woman sitting there with you? If it's a woman there and she's in the age range to be like having a baby, maybe we could think, oh wow, maybe she's pregnant, or maybe she has a baby son. Because of the blue, could be a boy, right? Like we could think, oh wow, maybe do you have a son that you unconditionally love? If that comes to you, because again, this is intuitive, and it's whatever comes to you. When you look at the image, like I could look at this and come up with that just off the blah, 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 like I just did, because that's all I saw was unconditional love with this. Or we could look at it and be like, if you had a guy sitting there, you could be like, you may need to heal your inner child. You may need to give some unconditional love to your inner child so that you can speak your truth, because the throat chakra communicates our truth and communicates. Maybe this person is afraid to communicate because they didn't have a loving, nurturing mother when they were a child, and now they need to reparent themselves so that they can communicate their truth to people, because maybe they have a bunch of fear. And again, we have blue. Now this is tarot, so with tarot we have the 4 suits, which all correlate to something, which the swords is the mind. The swords is like thinking and speaking, which does again tie into the blue throat chakra, so the speaking part of that. But it's intellectual, it's mind. It's usually like this is a card of fear. So they're afraid, they've trapped themselves in their fears a lot of times it'll be a person with like ropes on and there's like a bunch of swords around you, just freaking get out of there. But they're blindfolded because they're letting their fear blind them from moving forward or getting out of a bad situation, or, you know, seeing that maybe I wasn't very loved, or maybe I am not loving myself, or maybe I'm not giving enough love to my child, or maybe I'm not giving enough love to myself, or maybe I just need to love my inner child. But whatever it is that's coming up inside of you is going to be different, you know, and it's always going to correlate to the people there too. So you kind of have to like common sense is going to say, like, if it's a dude sitting there, he's probably not pregnant, right? So we're not going to go down that road. But if he's like sitting there and he maybe has a wife, that is, maybe he has somebody that he loves unconditionally that's going to be the mother of his child, and maybe he's wanting to know about that. And another part of it is, like, for the most part, when you have people come, they ask a question or they have an area. You know, I usually ask people, like, is there an area? Because some people will be like, I'm open to receive, and that just like is like, oh, willy-nilly, which I do get messages for that, but it's sometimes better to have people be like, love, or money, or whatever it is, that like health, wealth, something. If not, you kind of, whatever comes through for them. But in the beginning, you may be like, hey, I need a question, because a question narrows things down. Like, what do I need to know about my child? Or what do I need to know about my work? Or what do I need to know about, like, something? And most people will give questions. So if you had somebody ask you, like their work or something, and they got these two cards, these are tarot cards, there's a lot of blue here, so it could be tied to their truth, their communication style. But this is the card of fear, the mind, the mentality, right? Then the major arcana doesn't tie to a suit, but they all have something that they tie to. So having that chart that I gave is a good idea, because then you'll see, like, okay, the high priestess, she ties into intuition. She ties into, like, you know, the secretive, mysterious types of things. She's very, like, ooh, she's like she's the intuitive one. She knows, but nobody really knows what's going on with her. And then she's in the water. So when we see water, we think of emotions. So she may be emotionally allowing her fears to, like, stop her from pursuing the career that she wants to pursue. Or maybe her intuition is telling her something that she's, like, too afraid to embrace this part of herself, because maybe somebody has made her feel like she's not unconditionally loved, or maybe she wasn't unconditionally loved as a child. So now in her life, she has a hard time pursuing her wishes and her dreams and her dream career because of, you know, messed up inner child, or just a messed up truth about herself, or an inability to recognize that she has intuition that she can use to see her way out of this, like, situation that's just a fear situation. It's not really real. It's just you know, the mind is like, let me think of all this shit that keeps me stuck. But if she did it, like, and that's the thing, like, usually it's going to be an uplifting thing. You don't want to be like, oh, it's going to suck, it's going to be bad, it's horrible, don't go there. Like, that's not what the readings are usually for. The readings are usually for, like, oh, I see, like, there could be a little fear, a little bit of, like, not trusting in you, believing in yourself, or maybe there's even somebody in her life that she's afraid of, like, keeping something from her, because maybe there's a mysterious, secretive, mystery person in her world that brings out all her fears and insecurities, when she would, like, you know, wish that maybe they could have unconditional love, or have a child together, or, like, maybe it is the child, like she has a child with somebody, but she's like, do they really love me? I don't know. Like I wish I knew how they really truly felt, because they're so mysterious, and I'm afraid that they don't care. But if they took the blindfold off and looked at the actions of the person, and looked at the fact that, like, maybe, like if they're all together and happy and there's a baby and stuff like that, he probably loves you, man. Like just chill. But sometimes the fears, the doubts, and not trusting our intuition can really mess up people and mess up relationships, and, you know, cause havoc. So you want to look at stuff like that. Again, the blue could be all just about truth. Like, they're just afraid of their truth. They need to unconditionally love to get the truth. Or it could be emotions. They need to love themselves to have those emotions be expressed. Or it could be whatever you think of, like boy, right? So if it's all boy, then like maybe somebody's afraid that, like, they don't know how to intuitively take care of the boy. That, so maybe their person, their husband, is, like, dead set for having. Like if you don't have a boy, we're done. Like, you know, like, you know, oh, I'm scared that he's going to kick me out if I don't have this boy. But I'm just giving you like weird for instances because we never know what's happening. Oh, look at that. There's the animal kingdom as I switched over here. So the animal kingdom is, again, one of those places that, like, when you think of a bear, you probably have different things. Like, some people think of the mama bear. Like, she's like a protective mama bear. She's gonna kick your ass if you mess with her little baby that she unconditionally loves, right? You don't want to fuck with that because she'll eat you. But then we have, you know, some birds here. We have, what the hell is that? The owl. For me, the owl is about wisdom. Seeing, like, the owl actually for me is like the high priestess. So sometimes you'll see the owl, and you might think of the high priestess, or you might think of wisdom, or you might think of the unseen, or at nighttime, the unconscious, the subconscious, the dark, right? You could look at an eagle and be like, oh, like, rising up, right? We're going above, because these ones are the ones that go above the clouds. They don't go, like, if there's a storm, they're not like, oh, let's take shelter. They go above the fucking storm. So this is like, I'm not going to let the storms of life keep me down. I'm going to go up. We get the wolf, which is like, I'm going to be, you know, protecting myself. Maybe I'm the loner. It could be representing a person. It could be representing the mentality of somebody at that moment. It could be representing, you know, like, needing to take the leading of the pack. It could represent whole bunch of stuff, like, even just like the, like, maybe more so, like, if you looked at it and you're like, it really looked like a dog to me, it didn't look like a wolf, then go with the dog, because the dog is like unconditional love, it's like companionship, it's like, you know, that type of stuff. It's like the man's best friend. So if you looked at it and you saw the dog, then go with that and see if that is like resonating or making sense to the rest of the stuff that you have. But every animal, every number, every color has an energy, has a vibration, has a frequency, has a message. And there's, like, you know, there is charts and things out there already that will tell you what this means, what that means, why, like, you know, even the numbers, like 1 1 1 1 2 2 2, and there's multiple meanings for those. I have meanings for those. Other people have their own meanings for those. Sometimes they correspond, sometimes they don't. But I think the best thing for you to do before you get like too like inundated with other people's belief systems or try to memorize other people's is to write yourself a chart, like 0 to like 20, or do like 0 to 10, and then do like the 22, the 33, the 44, the 55, the 66, you know, like those ones, to have like something off of those. Like, what do you intuitively feel or think, or what words come to mind when you look at those numbers? Some people will look at like the 8 is an easy one because of the infinity, right? It's like gonna keep going, it's an infinite thing. Sometimes people like the teacher that I had for stuff, she saw the 9 as like a head in a body, so it was like somebody might be all up in their head, but other people see the 9 as the ending of a cycle, and then the 10 is the completion. The 1 is a new beginning. 1 is an awakener. 1 is like, hey, pay attention. 2 can be seen as partnership. 2 can be like things are now manifesting, like what you've been thinking about is coming. 3 could be transformation. It could be 3 is a party. It could be Trinity. It could be, you know, a lot of different things depending on who you're connected to. For some reason, I always think of like the Ascended Masters with 3. 4 is angels are with you, or 4 could be your foundation, you know, like the basic stuff underneath you, like I'm going to get myself going on my foundation, have my 4 pillars around me. Then the 5s, like for me, are changes, but again, everybody has their thing. Some people look at it as like, this one means love, and this one means that. Whatever comes to your mind when you look at those numbers, or what makes sense to you when you look at those numbers, write out a thing and give you like 3 to 5 keywords for each one, and then do the same thing for like black, blue, purple, green, orange, you know, red, whatever colors that you can find like on a regular chat without going insane about it, and then come up with like 3 keywords of like calm, relaxing, buoy, whatever it is for those emotions, water, you know, it could be whatever your brain thinks, because spirit is going to communicate to you through your brain. They know what you think. They know what you think of when you see yellow. If you think joy, they're gonna know. If you think bleh, they're gonna know. Like, if you hate mustard or something, you see yellow, you're like, I hate yellow. Because of that, then they're gonna know to like, if something's gross or somebody's like, we hate this person, okay, we're gonna show you yellow to represent this person, because this person might hate that person, so like, you need to know that this person's not very well liked, so we're gonna put something up there that makes you go bleh, okay? But it may be, again, another time you do a reading for somebody, you get yellow, and it's like the bee came to sting the person, because, like, again, it's not like a joyful experience, right? But it may be something that you, at that point, correlate within your mind for some reason. Or you might see the bee, or you might see something that just kind of, you know, sparks your mind. Everybody has so many different ways of interpreting. So there's also, like, the directions of stuff. Like, we have the north, south, east, and the west. We have the archangels that represent different things. We have the swords in the tarot, which is air. We have the wands, which is fire. We have the cups, which is water. And then we have the pentacles, which is earth, okay? And the pentacles, you know, that's like the material realm, money, like things that are like made materials, finances, wealth, home, property, business, physical stuff. Sometimes it's shown as like diamonds, discs, or coins. The swords, they're the intellect, thinking, communication, logic, the mind, analysis, ambition. Spades, spears, and pikes are also tied to that. Wands is the will, passion, manifestation, growth, personal power, spirit, motivation, energy, work, and career. And they can tie to the clubs, batons, rods, staves, scepters, and torches. And the cups are emotions, love, feeling, intuition, reflection, compassion, the heart, relationships. And they can tie to hearts, chalices, and vessels. So, you know, when we're doing tarot specifically, you're going to want to know those guys, you know, like start to know what those things mean for those main suits. Maybe make your own chart that has even more stuff available to you. We have court cards, which is basically like the queens, and the pages, the knights, the kings. So the pages are young, and they're messengers, they're information bringers. The knights are young adults. They indicate significant movement, travel, and action, communication. The queens are moms, you know, who have maturity. They indicate support, nurturing, feminine leadership. The masculines are fatherly figures, mature men that can indicate masculine support, leadership, and authority. And then, you know, the twos, the threes, the fours, like there's even a chart here of like for like if you get two kings, it could be that there's two people, two guys. Or if you get two queens, it could be that there's some of that going on. And here there's a number thing as well. So you can look into numerology for number like meanings as well. Like 1 is new beginnings, manifestation, individuality. 2 is collaboration, cooperation, unity, balance. 3 is manifestation, development, expression, celebration, creativity. 7 is luck, spirituality, psychic ability, wisdom, visualization, focus. You know, so again, I don't want you to like stick to what I'm saying right now. I want you to stick to what comes up in your head. But these are things like what I mean. Like there's a lot of things that people have out there, massive amounts of them. So it's better off to know what your mind thinks, because when Spirit's going to show you a card to give you information, they're not going to show you the card that somebody else thinks of when they see the tree. You know, some people look at the tree as like putting down roots. Some people might see it as lifting up to the sky, or air for our lungs, or family tree, or, you know, something else that's not what other people normally think. So you want to make sure that you're not getting influenced by stuff that's going to actually hinder you. So come up with your chart and come up with your words. They also have like symbols. So there's acorns, apples, arch, arrow, bear, bell, bird, blindfold, book, bridge. Like come up with like, you know, like a whole list of things that you can think of, like through the alphabet. Like come up with a couple of words for the A. Like I'm going to do arrow. I'm going to do acorn. You know, like what ones come to mind when you think of that? B for what? Book. Oh, B for what? and, you know, go all the way through and then come up with some meanings for that. And you could separate it too. You could do the A through the Z for like an actual item, and then you could do A through Z for like the animals. Like, we're gonna do a zebra. See what the like, what the hell? Zebra's kind of like, you know, unique, standing out. Maybe this person just doesn't fit in with the rest of the crowd. You know, ostrich, somebody that may be like a little nervous, put their head in the ground, like, oh, look at me. Like, somebody's shy. Cat is cunning, clever, intuition, perception. Butterfly is usually transformation. But, you know, it's again, what does your mind think of when you have those things come up? Or even just come up with a few of them. You don't have to have massive amounts of them, but this does have pretty much everything. It's like clouds, fire, frog, key, light, lily, lion, moon, mountain, snake, spiral, star, sun, swan, sword or knife, villages, wand, water. And then the days of the weeks also correspond to things for people. So if you got into all of that, you could know, like, oh, Sunday is associated with the sun, and it's good for manifesting its masculine energy. It supports expansion, wealth, business, career endeavors, educational advancement, promotions, investments, achievements, empowerment, wellness, goal setting, joyful activities, and celebrations. Monday is a day with the moon, and its feminine energy supports inward-looking activities like psychic expansion, past life regression, connecting to strengthening intuition. Also supports fertility, beauty, emotions, healing, medicine, home, family, gardening, psychic work, wisdom, and divination. Tuesdays with the Mars, which is named after the god of war, so it's a great day for passion, physicality, courage, confidence, strength, protection, initiations, and new beginnings. It's good for job seeking, test taking, surgical procedures. And Wednesday is for Mercury, rules. Mercurial is, you know, like communication, career, research, making, travel plans, the arts, the creating, change. Wednesday, with its midweek positioning, is ideal for creating shifts, tying up loose ends, and working with transitions in transitional energies. Thursday is named after Thor, and this is a day associated with Jupiter, and it supports anything related to health, strength, socializing, awards, self-improvement, travel, abundance, luck, prosperity, getting things resolved, because Thursday supports achievement, development, and vitality. It's an auspicious time to take tests and to work with doctors, therapists, healers, and legal counsel. And Friday is the planet Venus, and that's, you know, the goddess, and fertility, and sex, and love, romance, fertility, dating, unity, collaboration, social events, socializing, music, relaxation, fun, creativity, reconciliation, decorating, and revitalizing your physical space. And then Saturday is Saturn, and it's for agriculture, generational wealth, renewal. Who was the Greek god for the Roman Kronos? Saturday supports banishment, endings, the cuttings of ties, clearing, cleansing, releasing, transformation, and protection. So then there's the moon cycles. You could even tie into the moon cycles. So if you saw like a full moon on something, you could tie that into things. The black moon, the blue moon, you know, the blue moon only happens every once in a while. So if you see a card that's all blue with the moon on it, you might think, oh, this is like a rare opportunity that's coming for you. And again, it basically is how you feel. So don't let me like influence you. Don't worry about the days and all that stuff. Just try to come up with like a basic understanding. If you're not sure about chakras, like that'd be a great place to start, because chakras are the main things that we have here. So it's like a good little system to go off of. Like when I see a blue card, I know this is the throat chakra. Maybe they're, you know, afraid to speak their truth, or maybe they're afraid of their emotions getting them in trouble if they speak their truth. If it's somebody that has, you know, issues going on with the sacral, this is relationships, this is creative energy. Maybe somebody's stagnant, they can't get creative, they don't know what to do because, you know, their relationships are all messed up right now, or their relationship with self is all messed up right now. So they might need to figure that stuff out. Automatic writing is also another way that you can help yourself to kind of figure out what meanings or things that you want to give to stuff. Like just let yourself write, you know, like the first thing that comes to mind as you go. Like, oh, look at that. Boom, 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 boom. Here I go, here I go, here I go. To-do. I know I had a place here that I marked. This one? This one's different from the rest. That's for automatic writing. It's for animal symbology. When a certain animal appears for you again and again, take heed. The universe may be communicating to you through this archetype or symbol. Birds are messengers, bears and lions often for strength and power. Foxes are allied with quickness and cunning. For example, in tarot you feel a resonance of certain animals, just as you feel drawn to them in daily life. Butterflies, while they are insects not strictly considered animals, as members of the natural world, are powerful messengers, and they make appearance in various cards throughout many tarot decks. If you have an animal, plant, or insect you feel connection with, you may find it appears in your tarot readings in an answer to your questions, or that it appears around you significant times in your life, along with reoccurring numbers and things like that are non-physical support network of our allies and messages that come from our guides. It can be encouragement, support for whatever's going on in your life. So again, pay attention to what things that really stick out for you. A lot of the star seeds are into the dolphins. A lot of the twin flames are into the swans. A lot of people see divine masculine as lion, and so those things all tie in. Then we have the lions with the lyrants, and whenever I do readings, it could be a vast amount of things. I'm going to talk about for one item or one animal or one number, but that's because over time I've expanded my dictionary. And as I just opened up to this book, it was Expanding Your Reach, which is a spread in here. So I have this book, which is basically there's a bunch of different spreads. So this one is how can I make more of an impact? How can I expand my reach? What talents, gifts, and abilities can I use to help me expand? How can I apply these constructively? And in what ways do I need to reach beyond myself? How can this help others? What can I offer that is of the highest value? Where do I need to grow and make the greatest impact? So depending on, the intent of what you're doing, planting the seeds of intention is what I opened up to when I said that. The new moon is a good time to plant your seeds of intention or your intentions to get those going. But say you want to tune into your heart, right? You can do your own spread. You can make your own spread up. This one has 10 cards. First question is, where can I be more loving? Second is, what is holding me back? Third is, what is the best way for me to address what's holding me back? So when we have, because I did say we're going to talk about questions and things like that as well. If you have, a focus that you want to get answers on, asking questions like these ones are going to be helpful. Feel the energy of them. Is it too self-serving? Is it too limited? Is it somebody's digging for the answer? Are we going to get married? People will ask that stuff, but it should be more so what would be the most benefit for this relationship? Because maybe it's not to get married, but if you're asking are we gonna, you might kind of influence that message to come out. So let's see, where can I be more loving? We have the Ace of Cups with the World. So I feel there may be a chapter that needs to close so that a new start can happen, because this is new love, new beginning, new romance, right? So it could be a chapter where the particular person needs to close so you can go to a new person, or it could be that a chapter where the person needs to close so you can spark newness with that person. Maybe you're holding on to the past. Maybe you have a broken heart. Maybe there's somebody that you love, you care about, but maybe you're holding on to resentment, and that's actually preventing you from having a reconciliation, this is the card of reconciliation. So what's holding you back? We also have the Ace of Wands. Maybe you feel this has only been about passion. It hasn't been about anything else. We got her, which she's the queen of passion. She's about chicka wow wow. So maybe the person that you are connected to sees you as this. Maybe they see you as only wanting passion, that you don't really want them, or that's all it is for you. Or you could be thinking that about them, or that they're having competition and conflict and chaos involved in it, and you both have had your hearts broken. So what is the best way for me to address what's holding me back? We have the Ace of Cups again. So they're hey, you need to be more loving and start over here. You need to let go of the past so your wishes can come true, so you can rise up and see yourself as deserving of what you want. What's holding you back is also the Knight of Wands. So that focus on passion is causing an issue, and not listening to your intuition. So you probably already know what you need to do. What action should I take in regards to that relationship? So we have this. Put your guard up. Put some boundaries up. Say, fuck you, motherfucker. You're not touching me with this passion shit until I know we're going to have victory beyond passion. Until I have vulnerability. Until I, hear from you that you're going to be stable, long-term committed. King of Pentacles. The guy that, sticks around. He's not going to be an ass. What would be the most benefit to that relationship? We have the Seven of Cups. So I feel like there's a lot of illusions, there's a lot of distractions, there's a lot of options. There's things that are probably not doing so well, but your person's probably got a lot of love for you that they hold back and shroud behind things. And that's a burden for both of you, because you don't know. You don't know that maybe you are their Ten of Cups, or maybe they slowly do want to get there with you, but maybe they juggle around their own value and worth. Or like they juggle around the idea of your value and worth because maybe they feel, again, that you're only there for the passion, or like that they have time to play. How can I be more loving to myself? We have the guy upside down, so you got to see things from a different perspective. The Hangman's like, wake up, and Spirit's like, judgment time. You gotta make judgment call. Like, what's for your highest and best? Maybe a Tower moment coming if you don't make the right call, or if you just sit around waiting and waiting and waiting for somebody that's never going to give to you. Then it may be time to walk out of there so that you can have your ships come in, so you can have a valuable new start somewhere that's going to be long lasting. How can I expand the love in my life? We have the King of Wands, so you might need to take action and get like committed and move into energy that's going to be like, woohoo, here I go. And a message from my heart, we have the Ten of Pentacles, so your heart's like, hey, you're valuable, you're worthy of this, you can have the Ten of Pentacles, you can have generational wealth, you can have all the things that you're afraid you're not going to have, but you've got to put an end to the shit that's not serving you, the people who reject you, the people who hold back from you, the people who aren't willing to work together with you, or the people who only see you as passion. Stop waiting around to reconcile with somebody that just keeps breaking your heart, and do what you need to do, hermit away from that situation, so you can have clarity and illumination, like, is this really where I'm supposed to be, or am I just going to be the wounded warrior for here, ever and ever and ever, with the shit unseen and the things unknown. Maybe you just have a hard time letting go, or like being left out in the cold from this, but I think you got to alchemize it, or turn things around, or at least stand in a different vibration so that you can have success and, put an end to the bad and have your wishes come true, the things manifest into your life. And somebody may have some sort of truth that they want to deliver to you when they see things from a different perspective, but they may not see things from a different perspective until you recognize that value and that worth that you deserve. They may see it from afar once you recognize and step away, and that might bring them to speak their truth, or may just bring karma to balance within your situation, which will allow you to maybe find somebody else to celebrate with and to have your Four of Wands with, or for the two of you to celebrate and have your Four of Wands together. It just depends on the circumstances of the people. But I think you'll probably know deep down in your soul, is this person capable or aren't they? Is that what they want or not? If they don't want it, then don't entertain them. Because obviously you do, and you need to protect yourself. So make sure you do that. So those are the things that people would want to ask, good questions that are like, what opportunities are there for me to bring more positivity into my life? And then if you are using a different, deck, like this one here, self-love, you bring more positivity when you love yourself first. You don't give everybody else everything to you. Break free from the assholes, the duality, the darkness, and the stuff in your life that, isn't doing well. You got to communicate clearly, speak your affirmations, and take change. Change. It said, I swear to God, I didn't know it was going to say that as I said it. Take change so you can have your energy balance and you can have your abundance come to you when you do that. But some people may look at this and really focus at the colors or focus on the numbers. There's 1127. I always have the fucking 27 show up for me all the time, every day, over and over and over and over and over. And I don't know why. But the reflection, that could be, again, tied to the wolf. That could be tied to the reflection. That could be tied to someone's truth. That could be tied to, love. It could be tied to, other things that come out, like the self-love. You got to look at your own reflection and love yourself. But it may be showing up in multiple cards. It may be showing up in multiple colors, multiple numbers, multiple animals, or just a feeling or just a knowing. So when you get a deck, try to get a deck that you feel is going to give you like a good variety. Like try to find one that has numbers, try to find one that has like colors, find one that has like different things. Like this one here, it has numbers on it, it has a bunch of keywords on it, it has all different messages. The ladybug is here, so you could, like, you know, get a deck that is going to be good for you, that's going to give you a vast array of stuff that's going to help you to know. And then even if it doesn't, it's like just getting down one deck and having that be like, okay, I know what this means, I know what that means, I know what that card could represent, and all the different ways that it's going to, you know, sometimes you find like there's a deck that you just resonate with strongly because it just speaks to you. You're just like, oh, this makes sense. Like, it doesn't have to be any particular theme. It doesn't have to be tarot or oracle for it to do that. But like this deck here, this is a beginner's tarot on Amazon. It has like a beginner's kit available with it. This one, like the little turtle in there, I was always like, this is like, you know, this is going to take a while. It's going to be, you know, a little bit before you get there. You know, you get the wounded warrior down on one knee. He might be tired. He's battled. He's like, oh, shit. Life's hard. But it was a good one for, you know, the images. There's no numbers. There's not a lot of keywords. So you may want to focus on one that has all of that. But again, use your intuition while you're doing it. You know, sometimes you can get, like, I have my theme decks, like with, I have all swans in one of my decks. Then there's people who have, like, you know, starseed stuff. There's people who have, like, the sexy stuff. There's soul purpose stuff, message cards. But find the one that speaks to you, and it would be ideal to have numbers, images, colors, animals, you know, like a vast array of stuff going on within it, so that you can tap into all of those things within it. So we talked about images, colors, numbers, what they mean to you in your first deck. We talked about the animals and symbols, the feeling, the energy of questions. So basically, again, like, there's tons of questions out there already, like prompts out there. Like, this is a whole book, Tarot by the Moon, full of prompts that you could be like, oh, like, and it goes by the moons of the season of the year. So it's like, this one is for January, this one is for this month, you know, and whatever it is, it's like, it's a whole month full of stuff. So May, the flower moon, they have, I direct my attention. What needs my focused attention right now? What action should I take? How should I approach it? Where does it need structuring? What are the best ways for me to carve out space for it? How can I honor it? But if you go onto like Pinterest, or you just go onto Google and you ask, you know, specific like tarot questions or questions I should ask for my psychic reading, they're going to tell you, like, oh, if you want to, you know, do love reading, do this. And they give you like a whole list of questions. Find the ones that you like, that feel right to you, or ask from a place of feeling, like within your heart, like not going into ego of like, how do I make money? Or what's the best thing for me to do, like get my money for me, or like whatever. Try to do like, where should I be, you know, best supported? Where will I be happy? Where will I be, you know, given joy and pleasure in my life, you know? And again, there's so many things out there that have already been written, so you don't need to like bust your ass to try to get the right questions. A lot of people make like whole things that you can buy them, or you can just find them for free. Like this one's like, what are the current energies at hand? How can I take advantage of that energy? What is changing for me? How will this impact me? What action am I guided to take? What outcome will I have? Like, those are all good questions. But it's like, it's not self-serving. It's not going to limit, and it's not going to like lead people into a certain answer when you ask those questions. So hopefully that made sense for that part. But for your homework, let's see, I gave you guys there's a printout on my website right now, all the meanings of all of the tarot stuff. And then inside of the thing we have there's a new page with the 10, because for some reason I skipped 10. But if you go into my contact page on my website, there's a new one of these pages that you can download to add to your manual. And then there is the chart that has all the meanings of all the cards, all the kings, all the queens, all the minor arcana, all the major arcana. We are going to have activations and things coming, but the homework is practice readings for yourself and others. Write a list of colors and what they mean to you. Write a list of numbers and what does each number feel like to you. Now, I said 0 through 44 in here, but I would probably do like 0 to 10, and then 11, 22, 33. You could do the teens too if you wanted. Go all the way up to 20, and then do 22, 33, 44, 55, 66, 77, wherever you feel. And then write out a cheat sheet for tarot. So I already made one for you, but you can make your own that's like, this is what resonates for me. When I look at that card, or when I think of that meaning or for that thing, it feels like that. It doesn't feel like that, because that's how I've dismissed other people's stuff, or what other, you know, meanings are out there for stuff. But, you know, come up with stuff for the wands, the cups, the pentacles, the swords, the ace to king. And the more that you do that repetition of like practicing the reading, writing down the meanings of the cards, the more it's going to get stuck in your mind. Find meanings from other readers, other books, online, from your intuition. Don't limit yourself to one interpretation. So, you know, I gave you a pretty big list of stuff, but you can go look online, or you can listen to a reading on YouTube and see what else resonates for you. And then write a diary of a daily 3-card pull and the messages that you receive each day. And if you don't have a Tarot Oracle card deck, you can download a free app and use the thing that they have on there, or interpret it in your own way. But you could do like past, present, future, you know, like me, them, both of us, like what are they thinking, feeling, wanting, you know, like come up. And you can also go Google like what are good 3-card spread question prompts that I should be asking, or I could use, and find the one that resonates for you. You know, like again, Pinterest has a billion, Google has a billion. I actually have a blog post too that Monica wrote about, you know, asking questions to the tarot, so you could go find some on there as well. But that's the homework. So make your sheet, make your stuff, get your things, you know, start practicing with that. Find a deck that, you know, ideally has a little bit of the mixture, because like when I use my Starseed deck, it has the numbers, it has the like colors, it has stuff that's like, you know, not going to be seen on other decks. But for me, I'm like, oh, I just know. Like, so I see 29, I add that up to 11. I'm like, it's a beginning, awakening, 11, you know, start something. And then like 31, like that's the flip of 13. The 13 is the divine feminine for me. So I might see like, oh, look, yeah, Earth is divine feminine, right? Atlantis here, past lives, crystal master. So this could be telling me that like somebody has a connection to that past life there. Protecting yourself. 25 is 7. So that could be connected to the emissaries that tell you to protect yourself, aka light. 5 is serious. There's going to be some changes coming, so you got to, you know, release your lower vibrations and emotions that you might be holding on to. But that's because I've had time to like get to know all those things. Some people see 6 as like the number of love. So when you see the swans, you could think of swans as twin flames, but you could also think of 6 as love. So you may not even need the keywords down here to get the message of love from that image and that number. But again, it's what's in your mind, you know? And like this one's pretty clear, like, hey, look at, there's rings, right? Commitment, stability, making a partnership, a promise, a bond, and it's 25, so you could add that up to 7. What do you think of for 7? Spiritual enlightenment, or spiritual commitment, or Pleiadian, maybe this is like a Pleiadian person that you're going to commit to, or have a bond with, like Pleiadian starseed, possibly, you know? It depends, because I think of the 7 sisters when I think of 7, but other people think of their 7 chakras or spiritual element. Some people, when they see bunnies, they think of like reproduction, having babies. Then the Wolverine is elusive, possessive, power struggle. But other people may think that as like a good animal to have, like fierce, protective. Stars is our wishes, our dreams, our inspired miracles. Falling in love, being blessed. It's number 16, so it has that 6 energy, but it, again, could add up to 7. So again, we could be like, oh, it's the Pleiades, right? Bringing that unconditional love that they carry. And here's the 7. Sees both sides. So you can see both of those things when you're looking at it. But it's really something that just kind of happens over time. For me, dolphins have always been, you know, joy, bliss, high vibrational. They're like little alien beings on this planet. They're like beyond us, better than most humans. They care more. They have like cool abilities that we don't have, like telepathic stuff and sonar and radar. But other people might not see them like that. Other people may see them as, no, they're not good, they're bad. It's really just a matter of the card, of the image, of the number, of the color, of the feelings inside of you, of the question, of the person that you're reading for. So the best thing to do is just practice and come up with, like, you know, your basis for your dictionary that's unique to you, not me. Unique to your mind and like what comes out of your head first. Remember, we say like, hey, blah blah, you know, green. Like, some people think money, some people think abundance, some people think nature, some people think I don't know, like something gross, maybe travel. Who knows? Everybody's got their thing. So come up with your things and share your, you know, gift, or practice with somebody that you're comfortable with. If you don't have anybody that you're comfortable with, I do have a group on my website that's like, there's 40 members in it that, like, there's not a whole lot of action going on in there, but then I have the groups on Facebook too, the Alcyone, I have the MUNAY, I have quite a few of them, but you could join one of those and like offer to do a reading for somebody. Or you could join the one on my website that's under the groups. It's a free, like, open one. You don't have to pay to be in it. And there's 40 people in there, so I'm sure if you went in there, we're like, hey guys, does anybody want, like, allow me to practice? Somebody would, because I have, you know, the girls in my paid membership group right now, and there's, like, you know, under 15 people, and one of them posted, actually 2 of them posted it within, like, the past couple of days, and everybody's like, yes, 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 yes. So they both got like 9 readings right there to do, just in a day. So I'm sure the other group, if you say it, if anybody pays attention, they'll want it. Or I will keep an eye, and I'll tell my girls in my paid one to go over there and take advantage of the fact that somebody's out there, you know, doing an awakening and awakening their gifts, and they're starting out, and they need people to practice with, or even put it down in the comment section that you would like, you know, somebody to practice with. They could just ask you a question. You could type their answer into the comments. There's always a will in a way. What I used to do back in the day was I would like make a YouTube video and get people to comment questions. And then I would do like a trans-channeling video. After I got all the questions, it would be like, you know, I wait like a week to get some questions because I didn't really have any subscribers. And then I'd come back when I had a good enough amount of people to do it for, and I would do it for the community, whoever had asked. And that's how I practiced my trans-channeling for a while. My readings, I had practiced at like a studio with other people, and kind of just like picked it up quickly. So don't make it a big deal. Don't overthink it. Don't get all up in your head. Just make your little kit thingy and get that going, and you'll be good. Okay? And I will see you guys again soon for the next part of Alcyone Light Healing. So don't forget to do your homework. We're going on to, next week is going to be Tarot Basics and Oracle Basics. So, you know, we'll start, like, I'll probably have the camera face, like, actual table and, like, play with the cards and do the basics of a reading. You know, like actually setting it up, like setting the intention, calling in protection, which you can open the vortex before you do a practice reading just to protect yourself and set your intention that you're going to do a reading with one of your decks or for a particular person or for a particular intention, and then go from there. Okay, so hopefully that will help everybody. In MUNAY, namaste.